welcome to Edge of the Rabbit Hole. We have a great episode tonight with Michelle LeBaron, who is known as the Ghost Magnet. So we're really looking forward to what she has to tell us. Vanessa, my co-host, really set this one up. So I actually hadn't known much about Michelle. I read her bio, checked out her profile a little bit. Interesting stuff going on there. And of course, we have our chat Shananigator, Shana, down there in the chat room. Again, I want to go ahead and thank everybody for the 5,000 subscribers. We're cruising right ahead. Vanessa, what do they get for 7,000? Because that was brought up on the Edge of the Rabbit Hole Facebook page earlier today.
Well, if we get 7,000 subscribers by my birthday, which for those who don't know, I will be 46, a proud 46, on March 14th of this year, okay? If we get 7,000 subscribers by that day, we will have a contest, and the winner of said contest will get all 3 of my books signed.
There you go. March 14th. March 14th. So that's like a month and a half.
Get to work, people. don't make my fun of that, okay?
We could do that.
Anyway, Mike is right, y'all. I dragged Michelle on this show kicking and screaming. Okay. She doesn't seek out a lot of attention, bless her. She gets in there, she gets the job done, she gets it done right. She gets it done in a way that women can be proud of. And I believe that she is a very good example of what to follow when it comes to being women in this field. It's not an easy business. Let's face it. If you're not looking hoochie, and if you're not putting yourself out there as a sex pot, 9 times out of 10, it's really hard to get any type of notice. It's really hard for people to care. You know, I mean, you generally have to go from one extreme to the other. I'm the crazy. So I'm the one that's nuts, and people seem to respond to that. Michelle brings a whole other side to this, whole other side to the table, and it was refreshing. And I reached out to her months and months and months ago, and told her how refreshing I was.
And there's Tom McNicholas with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Tom McNicholas. He is awesome about that. So I really do appreciate it.
As soon as I have the funds, I'm a book. Period. I'll just send it to him.
Yep, just send it to him.
Bless him. I'm just going to send it to him.
He's going to be at Mineral Springs in June. So that's another thing we need to talk about. June 9th at Mineral Springs Hotel in Alton, Illinois is the Haunted Road Media Paracon, so you want to make sure that you get out there, Alton, Illinois, for that. That is a Saturday from 10 until 6, and then we have the investigation at night. I know a lot of our, and there's Tom McNicholas with a $5 super chat. Wow, Tom, thank you. Here's to the 7,000 is his message. Awesome. So,
wow.
Yep. And I know a lot of people are going to be there. Tom's going to be there. Tammy Heitzman is going to be there. Bonnie Halperin.
Halperin's going to be there.
So a lot of great people. And of course, we have our entire lineup of speakers. And of course, our chat Shananigator, who, without her, none of that would have been possible. So
exactly right. And for those who are attending, I really want you to know we are looking so unbelievably forward to getting to meet y'all.
Yes.
You have no idea. You have no idea what you've meant to us. When we started out as just a radio broadcast, a podcast, and then we brought it into the YouTube generation, and y'all have made it a success. Without you, we wouldn't exist. And again, we are forever grateful.
Absolutely.
Cannot wait to investigate with some of you people. I cannot wait to scare the shit out of you with my weirdness. I love it.
So
I'm excited.
Chuck Banks is in there. I like Ghost Magnets, as I understand them. Chuck is also going to be speaking there. So I heard that there's a little thing going on tonight called State of the Union.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's learn about the state of Michelle LeBaron.
Oh, let's please.
All right.
Michelle, tell us a little bit about your.
What's a ghost magnet?
A ghost magnet. Well, actually, I got the name. from friends of mine. It's just the stuff that I get, and the things that I don't know. I'm a little magnet, I guess. They say, a lot of my friends say that I have a beacon of light, which, what happened there? Where am I? Here
No, you're right there. We can see you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're good.
A lot of my friends say that I have a beacon of light, which draws spirits to me, and that's why I get the possible paranormal evidence that I've captured. I never claim it is, because nobody knows. Nobody. So, but yeah, it just grew on me. Everyone calls me the ghost magnet, and so now that's my nickname, and I gotta get that copyrighted.
Hey, you really should.
Yeah, you'll trademark that. Trademark that.
Yeah, trademark. That's what it is. Yeah.
Now, with it being with what your friends have called you and how you've acquired that nickname, I have to ask, just because I'm me, do you find that your magnetism draws a particular type of spirit, or is it could it span a spectrum?
It's a wide variety. I get good spirits. I get angry, negative spirits. I can't explain. I just can't. I get a wide variety. So I get children. I get women. I get men. I get angry people. I get happy people. So.
Do you find that it depends on what type of mood you're in, or what you're going through at the time, that might dictate the energy that's drawn to you?
It's possible. When I go into a place, I'm always positive, and I ground myself and I shield myself. I mean, I protect myself from negative things, and I try to be happy, and I try to be. I mean, I think the reason why they come to me is because I'm a kind person, and they feel that they can come to me and ask for help, or whatever, you know. So
you treat them with respect.
My nose itches. Oh, absolutely. I do not provoke ever. I treat even the angry, negative ones with respect, because I'm there for them. So
good.
A lot of people disagree when Mike and I talk about that how it's, even the negative ones, even the
everybody.
nasty, but we're not there to judge. We're there to communicate and relay information. That's our sole job.
Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're trying to learn more about who they are, when they lived, if they have, a message that they're still, trying to give. I don't know if that's, how they're reaching out to you. Maybe there's something that they're trying to, tell you to relay to everybody else. Well, we're just trying to tell their story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Now, you're going to love this name. Fungi has asked this particular question. He says, do the angry or negative spirits take their frustrations out on you? Bless him. He's hopping right in there, going straight for the jugular. But that's a really important question.
I've been scratched once. I don't allow that. I mean, I make sure to tell them, do not touch me. Please don't. And I'm very respectful when I do it. But when I did get scratched, I got into like this overprotective mama mode. I can't explain it. I know that people around me when I'm investigating get scratched a lot. And I can't explain that. But I don't know. I don't know.
protective mama mode that you got into, was that for the people that you were with, or were you acquiring the emotions of whatever may have physically touched you?
I don't like to be touched, harmed, or physically harmed. And I'm going to tell them, just like I would to someone that is living, don't touch me, you know. I don't like to be touched. And I do go in very high protective mode when I have my friends that are harmed. And there was a situation, I'll probably talk about that later, where a couple of my friends were scratched, both of them, in the same place. I protected them, and I talked to the spirits and told them not to do that. And, you know, it was very, very chaotic there. It was, I can't even explain it. It was intense. But I just go in protection. I mean, that's just who I am. I'm just a very, very, very caring person, and I don't want anyone hurt. So
we have a question from Zippy Davis in the chat. Why do evil spirits feel the need to scratch you?
To get your attention.
It's an attention thing. Okay.
I think it's an attention thing, or if they are intimidated, and not necessarily by me, but maybe by somebody that is with me. They're intimidated by that person, and so they show or try to show their power by causing harm to others.
That kind of leads into statement/question that I have, and Mike and Michelle both. I would love to know y'all's opinions on this. With what Zippy said about them, why do they feel the need to scratch? And for me, it isn't so much just scratch; it's the possibility of drawing blood, and it seems like in their heightened state, the most dangerous act of aggression. It's the most human.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes one wonder if that isn't their way of trying to be human for just a moment. Am I saying that right? Do y'all understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an opportunity.
They're probably...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. They're probably very frustrated, you know, that they can't do the things we do because they're not living anymore. So they show their power by harming others, and that's just what I think.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for them to do something physical again. And it may not even be, you know, some of them, they may not be intending to do harm, but just to be able to reach out and touch someone, and maybe that's the way it ends up coming out.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, because you rarely hear of a ghost punching or slapping. It is almost always scratching.
Yeah, scratching.
Yeah.
It's scratching. And I mean, it's always made me wonder why that particular form of physical confrontation.
I think it's that's what angry, negative spirits do. You know, that's what they do. That's how they show that they're there, is when they harm a person. But I actually was at the Washoe Club, and I had this, she was 16 years old. She was a friend's niece. And we were at the Washoe Club, and we were crouched down, you know, and I heard a physical like that. It slapped her on the ass. You could hear the physical slap. And she's like, oh my God, someone just slapped me in the ass like that. And I was like, don't touch her, you know? And I brought her in between me. I brought her in front of me. But I heard it. I heard the slap. And that was like crazy. Well, Washoe Club is like that anyways.
What's going on with you, Vanessa? Well, you're like looking all over the place. Like, you know, airplane going by, or...
No, you'll hear it.
Uh-oh.
You'll hear it on playback. How you couldn't is beyond me. Yeah. Surprised y'all didn't hear it then.
From Chuck Banks, do you shroud your abilities at times to keep them from bothering you?
Do I shroud?
You shroud your abilities, yeah. try to hold back your abilities so that the spirits don't bother you as much.
No, I'm very open to them.
Okay.
I do not. I mean, I shield myself and guard myself to be in, so something doesn't enter me or I don't get attached.
Right.
But I am, when I go in, I am full blown open. So yeah, I don't. I think that's why I get what I get.
Okay.
Because I'm so open.
It's going to be one of the obvious questions is what's the worst thing you've ever encountered, but I want to know what the best thing you ever encountered was. I want to know when it happened, what made you smile? What was the best interaction you've had with spirit?
Jeez.
That's a tougher one, the hard one.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Gosh. I don't, I mean, they all make me smile. There's just, I don't have a particular one. I know that I smile when my father comes in my dreams and my grandmother and my loved ones. But I don't really, I mean, to come in contact with, actually, there was a pretty awesome thing that made me smile. I was at a cemetery with Scott Grunwald and a few others, and we ran a ITC application, and this blew Scott away, actually, because he's not too hard on those. He doesn't really like those ITC things. He's really old school.
Yeah, I'm kind of with him on that.
Yeah. But when you get validation, it's absolutely amazing. And we were sitting by the stones, by a headstone, and we were asking what the last name on the stone was. And it said, I think it was Jones. And the first name was John. And he said John Jones. And then there was another one. It was Effenhofen or something like that. And we asked, what does this name say? And they said Effenhofen or whatever. And then they said EVYLN. They spelled these letters. And Scott's like, what the hell? It was Evelyn Effenhofen or something like that. And
wow.
It was crazy. And I smiled about that because we had numerous spirits come in contact with us, and it was a pretty positive session and positive investigation. So that's what I like, is having a positive investigation.
Well, that's pretty damn cool, because I'm not a big fan of the apps either. But if one of them did that, I might change my mind.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I wasn't too big on them, but I usually do the old school thing first when I investigate. And if I'm not getting anything, just to engage the spirits, I try other things. And I try those apps, and they're like, whoa, what is that? Hey, I'll just communicate with you through that. And it's worked. It really has.
Wow.
Yeah.
We might have to try it, Mike.
Well, I've used the apps before, and there's been on occasion where and the way I would do it was basically cross-check between, not just relying on one, but try several different devices. And there was this one time where we were getting the same response on several different devices. So it was like, okay, something might be up there.
Yeah.
And other times, with the old school ghost box, there's, at least to me, trying to discern, okay, what might be real, what's really a radio station, and then some of the apps, coming from a computer programming background, I know how they could very easily be manipulated as well. So that's That's why I usually stick to old school. Not to mention they give me a headache. but you know, like you, Michelle, I do hear of people, you know, having some decent luck with them. So to each their own. There is an interesting question here, you know, a little off topic, but I think it's an interesting one from Discord threads. What are the tattoos on your arms, and do you have any ink that is protective?
Yes, I do. I actually have. My God, how can I show you this? Let me see.
I see the cat. I see the cat. Let me go to the bigger screen. Cool.
Okay, so this is what the hell?
You got it right there.
Okay. I got that tattooed in Salem by a male witch.
Cool.
This is a protection symbol for me from negativity. And then this one here.
Oh, beautiful!
Nice.
With the raven. It's in the Book of Shadows, and it is a protection symbol from negativity. So that's one of those. And then, okay, hold on. Let me just take
it off. I think YouTube might have a problem with that.
But those are my protection. Those are my protection ones. I've got a lot. So.
But it's important, though. It's important. I have on my right shoulder, I have a triquerta with what is supposed to be, and I drew it myself, with the sun in the upper point, but it's actually not just a sun, it's my son's eye.
Oh, how cool.
Son's eye, and it's the color of his eye, and then I have the stars and moon in the east and west points, and the pentagram in the center, the pinnacle in the center, and that's on my right shoulder. You know,
wow.
I mean, that's my protection, you know. I mean, and it does work. It doesn't shield from everything because I'm an idiot and I let all that shit in.
Yeah.
But tremendously. Do you find that your abilities or your chances of having things come to you increased, decreased, or became more clear after having your tattoos done?
No. I've always
stayed the same.
Yeah,
okay.
It's always been the same.
Were you this way since a little girl?
Huh?
Were you this way since a little girl?
Oh yes, very much so. Yes.
Did you find a certain age where it started to heighten more, or has it just been, you know, since you were knee high to a grasshopper?
I guess my mom was saying when I was younger, you know, when you're younger, your mind is clear. You don't have so much things on your mind. And my mom said when I was younger that I would put a pencil on the edge of the table and stare at the pencil and make it move.
Oh, wow.
When I was a young girl. And I also found out that my great grandmother had telekinetic powers. I mean, I don't have that now because I'm a hot mess.
That's okay.
So, but yeah, my mom said that her great grandmother, she used to have like this really big lead crystal ashtray. And, you know, the lead crystal circular ashtrays, and she would have it on the table, and my mom would see her move that lead crystal ashtray with her mind. Yeah,
interesting.
It's pretty crazy. But yeah, it's in my family. Everyone in my family has a certain gift. So I'm blessed, I guess.
We call it a blessing or a curse, just depending on what day it is.
Oh, yeah. That's
now,
true.
We've talked before on the show about how, because I mean, I went along similar lines, and how I blocked it out for a long time, and then I brought it back in my 30s, and it just kind of kaboomed. Have you noticed the older you get, the more you're able to absorb and draw to you, or has it stayed the same? Did you ever block it out completely and have it come back?
I've always felt that I've had it. I've always been interested. When I was a teenager, I didn't even think about any of that sort of thing because I'm a teenage girl, crazy hormones all over, that kind of stuff. But I started to really get into the paranormal and my abilities when I was in my early 20s. And then through 20 to in the 30s, it kind of dissipated because I just stopped. And then once I got into my 40s, and now it's like majorly heightened. It's gotten pretty crazy for me.
Well, we talk a lot about it being hormonal, and it makes one wonder that generally when you're female, a lot of your instances happen pubescent, and when you're coming of age, then they can taper off. Menopause or menopausal surge there, it just like boom and just goes fucking nuts.
Yeah, that could be.
It just makes it makes one wonder. I mean, it doesn't happen that way for guys, but I don't think. I mean, they don't.
No, there's no child. She just said they heard a kid. Someone in the chat said...
Shauna's relating that everyone in the chat has heard a child, wondering if it was on your end or just an audio glitch or what have you.
I can tell you this right now. I have a child, but he's 13 and he's up in his room playing video games. I have a young boy spirit in my home, and he makes his presence known. I've heard him speak in full sentences, disembodied voices. It's crazy. He died here when he was 11 years old in 2001. His name is William. They said that actually my neighbor, well, this is crazy because my son, he sees a lot. He sleeps with his bedroom door shut because he saw like wolf-like dogs go past his bedroom. And come to find out, I know I just went off the chart there. But,
you're good.
But come to find out, the people that lived prior to us moving in had wolves, wolves.
They had pet wolves.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a little different.
And I'm surprised. I mean, they might be buried here, out and back somewhere. But the young boy, or my son, when he was little, would see him. And let my nose itches. Sorry. And sorry. It's crazy. But we have like these 2 kennels in our living room for our dogs. When my kid was like 2-3 years old, and he was sitting on the floor, and I was sitting on the couch. And he has this Darth Vader micro machine head, from the, I guess it's early 90s or something. I used to buy him like all these cool toys. So the thing elevated off the kennel and whoosh, flew across the room. And his toys would go off, and there wouldn't be any batteries in them. So I was talking to my neighbor. She lives across the street, of course, and I was telling her about things my son was going through. And she said, well, didn't you know before you moved in that there was a suicide? And I'm like, no, I didn't. And she said, there's a young boy who committed suicide. He was 11 years old, and his name was William. And she said he was shot. Well, I envisioned what happened in my head. And I'm like, he didn't commit suicide. And she's like, really, Michelle? are you sure? And I'm like, I'm envisioning this right now. And it was him and his brother, his older brother. He has an older brother, and I guess they fought all the time. This is what my neighbor said too. They were at each other's throats constantly, and they were up in that closet, and they pulled down a lockbox, and they pulled out the gun, and it was a service revolver, and this is what I told her. And the bigger brother and him were fighting over it, and the gun went off, and it killed him. And she had chills. She's like, Michelle, a service revolver. And I'm like, yes. And she said his father was a sheriff. And after I heard the gunshot, she heard the gunshot. She said the older brother ran across the field, like running, like scared.
Wow.
So I pretty much, they say it's a suicide, and I don't see, a 10-year-old wanting to kill themselves,
Yeah, that's a little young. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I saw, and he's here, and I think he chooses to stay, and I allow him to stay, and I think he stays because I'm like a mama figure to him, and he likes to hang out with my boy too. So, but yeah. If you hear a small child or a child's voice, that's because it's William.
Okay. Does he go by the name of Billy at all? Shana saying
yes.
that. Okay. Yeah. Shana was saying that
yes.
Before you actually said the name William, that the name Billy actually floated into her head. So.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Billy. They called him Billy.
Okay.
So.
Very good. Well, that's sad story. Sad story.
It's he's here all the time. I mean, I'm going to do a full-on investigation of my home probably in a couple months. I have done an investigation, real crazy thing, but I'll tell you guys about that in a little bit. What we captured. It's pretty intense.
Out in your barn.
Oh, yeah, my barn.
What's this?
You know
Go ahead
what?
And tell.
Hey, Vanessa, I have lived here for almost 14 years, and I have only been in that barn 3 times.
I don't blame you. I don't like your barn, and I've only watched it on live feed.
What's going on in the barn?
Yeah, it's not a good
There's something bad in there.
Yeah. But it doesn't have anything to do with your house. It has to do with the land that your house is on.
Yes, it does. And this is a farmland, an old-time farmland. Or it used to be an old ranch. It also is Indian land. The Indians used to cross through here. So, yeah, there's so much. It's so crazy.
Who told you about the stuff under your barn?
Stuff under my barn?
There's stuff buried under your barn.
Did you?
I don't remember if it was me or not. That was so late at night.
Oh, yeah, it was like where the concrete slab is.
Yeah.
And over by the ladder.
Because they're underneath your barn. It's like the cause of it is underneath your barn.
Yes. Yeah. I don't go over in that area. That's why you didn't see me go forward. I stayed back.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It's icky. It has very...
It's that bad, huh?
I don't mean it to be rude, but there was when Michelle went in with her live feed and was going to do the live feed investigation in her barn, it was so bizarre because the second you cross the threshold, it's a darkness that has nothing to do with how much light is in there.
Yeah.
It's that wet.
It's dark during the day.
Exactly. But the worst part of it was if you went straight back into the barn, it's in the left-hand corner.
Yep, the left hand.
Okay.
And it was just yuck. It was just... I'm sorry, Vanessa.
It's a very technical paranormal term. Just yuck.
It's like a mean old man is sitting there watching you, just waiting for his chance.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Yeah, it's like Pitchfork dude just waiting for you.
You know, the area where I live, this is an odd thing. It hasn't happened lately, but like a year ago, there were 3 men, like a block away from me. 3 men committed suicide, all in the age between 30 and 40 years of age in like 6 months' time.
Wow.
And they were husbands and fathers. And it was just very odd. This whole area where I live is just insane.
I know that this doesn't make any sense, but has anybody checked the water lately? The second you said that, I just got unbelievably sick to my stomach. And there was somebody saying they ingested it. So it's something.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It could be mercury or something, or
mercury poisoning.
Yeah. I mean, I have well water. God. No, I'm scared to drink. So I never drink it. I drink filtered. But yeah. Wow.
That would be something to check in.
We do have a question from Zippy Davis. Are you ever afraid of what you may discover during an investigation?
No, not really. I mean, I've seen some things that, some things have scared the living fuck out of me.
Like what?
I mean, sorry about my language.
No, if this is the internet, you can say fuck. It's okay.
I say fuck all the time.
Fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
I do not go into a haunted location scared. I try to be brave, and I don't think about something bad in there, because if I do, then something's gonna happen. But yeah, I'm not.
But something bad has happened.
Oh yeah, a few things.
If you had to pick the one that affected you the most, what would it be?
The most that affected me was the Shadow Man at the Washoe Club. I have captured him on photo. I'm like one of the lucky few that has captured a photo of this man. He is about 6'5", 6'6", very tall. Of course, I don't know why it's like that, but they're always wearing a duster and a cowboy hat. But
not
that's
always,
what it looks
but
like.
there are certain ones that do. Yeah. So this one is.
He's just so powerful. He keeps the other spirits at bay. He's the powerful one.
Is he a misogynist?
Huh?
Is he a misogynist? Does he affect the women more than the men?
I'll tell you, yes.
Okay.
I think that because the Washoe Club used to be a millionaires club where they would bring prostitutes upstairs. I even have, I wish I could play it, but it's on my phone, and I'm on my phone. I even have disembodied voices of women moaning. I mean, loud moans. I'll have to share it one day. It's crazy. But he keeps, there's a child there, a little boy, and there's a few women there that he does not won't let you talk to you. He won't let them speak to you unless he allows it. I mean, you could go into the Washoe Club and get absolutely nothing and not hear a darn thing the whole time. And it's very, very rare for that, because Washoe Club is like, it's like one of the most intense haunted locations I've ever been. But he has shown himself to me, and it frightened me. And the story on, do you got time?
Yeah, go right ahead. I have a distinct interest in shadow people, so anything you can tell about your personal experience, because I've had a number of shadow people experiences. How I got into the field was an experience I had as a child. So I'm currently putting together a book on shadow people. So any experiences that you have on this topic, go right ahead. Talk all day.
Hey, Ollie, I'll send you the picture of him that I captured.
That'd be great. Yeah.
If you want. It's amazing. But I went with some friends to the Washoe Club. My old boss from I used to be with Ghost Posse. That was before I went on my own and became a lone wolf. I'm still friends with my boss. They invited me to go to the Washoe Club with them, and I was in the ballroom, and she walks up to me and she goes, "Michelle, come on." And I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Come with me." And I said, "Okay." And I go, "Where are we going?" "What do you want?" It's dark, She goes, "I want you to look in this room, and I want you to tell me what you feel." And so I'm looking in there, and she's there's a wall, and she's standing next to the wall, and I'm looking straight into the room, and I'm looking over, and I'm seeing her, and she's all, "What do you feel?" And I go, "I don't feel anything. I don't feel nothing." Okay. She goes, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Look deeper in there, feel." And so I'm looking, and I don't see anything. I turn around, she's gone. And I'm calling out her name. I am calling her name out. I'm like, I don't want to say your name because
that's okay.
Personal.
Right.
So I'm screaming her name, and I look back in the room, and I turn back around, and oh God, it was like pitch freaking black, but it looked like she moved forward towards me. But what it was is that there was a dark, huge shadow man, a big mass, and it had engulfed her, her. So when she didn't even move forward, it moved back, which made it look like she was coming forward. And I screamed. I was so terrified. I have never been so scared in my whole life. And we both went back into the ballroom, and I had people help me calm me down,
Now, if she was engulfed by the shadow person, did she feel that at all?
No. And she didn't even hear me call her name.
Okay.
It was crazy.
Interesting.
She didn't remember any of it. But the weird thing,
so she doesn't remember it at all.
No, she didn't even see it. I mean,
she didn't see it, but she didn't remember the incident either. Okay.
Yeah, but she was looking at me. She could see me, but I couldn't see her.
Okay.
So when we went into the ballroom and composed ourselves and calmed down, I felt that I needed to walk over by the stairwell where the shadow was. And I walked over there alone, and I put my hand on the end of the stairwell, and I turned around, and I looked down the hall, and I could see it on the wall. You can see him standing there, and then you can see him moving like this.
Okay.
And then I heard pulsating, like he was pulsating. And then you could hear, woo, 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 woo.
That's different.
You heard that. Yeah. And I called it. I said, I got to get out of here. I can't deal with this anymore. This frightened me. To this day.
Now, did you get the feeling that this was actually a human spirit, like a powerful human spirit, or maybe something else?
I think it was not human.
Okay.
Just by the way, the energy that I felt from it, it was not human to me.
Okay.
Or past human, if you will.
Right. I gotcha. Yeah, that's a really interesting experience. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Let me ask you, when you guys were there, especially you, but did anybody else have difficulty breathing or feeling like almost like they had a scarf on too tight, even if it wasn't cold? You know what I mean? Like their airways were being cut off.
Actually, I believe so. Her mother had to go sit down because she couldn't breathe really well. So that she sat in the ballroom and waited till we all left.
Because the stairs that you're talking about, if you go up the stairs and it's on the left-hand side of the stairs, I don't know how many rooms are, but it's like first and second room on the left-hand side of the stairs. There's a lot of gasping. The air is wrong.
Okay. Well, upstairs when you go forward and then to the right, to the left. Actually, it would be to the right because once you turn around on the stairwell, there's a room to the left where they call it the angry man's room. And this man, I've had it happen too. While I was leaving that room and going around the corner, you could hear him rush at you. You can hear him run at you. And there was an instance when he did that to me, and I literally jumped on my friend's back. I mean, because it was running at me. You could hear it. It was. I recommend it though because that's an amazing place to investigate. But you gotta.
Yeah, but he smells.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I never smelled him.
Smells like what, Vanessa? What kind of bad smell?
Honestly, like the charcoal that you and I have talked about before.
Okay.
There's a burning smell like charcoal.
Okay.
Okay. There was a fire back there, and the man that lived back there had a pet monkey. And from what I hear is because he was a miner, they had dynamite up there, and the monkey somehow got it set it afire, and it caused the Washoe Club, the top part of it, to burn down.
Oh wow!
And yeah, so
did the monkey survive? No,
and 2 children died.
Oh, that's terrible.
Did you see the little girl there very much?
I see and feel the little boy more than the little girl, but she has come through before. Yes.
I gotta go there.
You do. Come. I'll take you.
Yeah, Washoe is supposed to be a really good place.
I'll take both of you.
Where the hell is it?
Virginia City, Nevada.
I can get there.
Virginia City is super haunted to begin with. You could spend days in that town. Yeah.
Yeah, you can walk out and sit on the curb and do an EVP session and get amazing EVPs. I mean, that whole town is just alive. When I'm going around the mountain to get there, and then as soon as I see it, it's like, it's just, the energy is like no other.
When you're standing outside of the front of the Washoe Club, if you go to the right, 3 buildings down, was there a guy shot there?
I'm not sure.
If you're looking out the club, you go to the right, and it's 3 buildings down.
You're talking the Wild West, probably.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of death. I mean, that town had over 40 in the 1870s. When they had the silver boom and all that other stuff, they had over 40,000 people living in that little tiny town.
Wow. They
had more people there than they had in LA at that time. And yeah, that's why there's so much packed energy. You've got the metals that are conductors. You got copper, you got gold, you got silver in those mountains. You've got a lot of death. I mean, there's a lot of death in that town. There's a place inside of the Washoe Club called the Crypt, and there were so many mining accidents and so many people killed during the wintertime. The ground was so frozen that they would store the bodies on top of each other inside of that crypt, and that place, whoo. That's pretty active too.
So, Mike, we're gonna have. It sounds like we got.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a bucket list item. I've wanted to go there for a while, so.
Just let me know.
All right,
I want to go.
All right, we'll definitely set it up sometime. We do have a question from a little while back from Pamela Rainey. She wants to ask: has Michelle ever seen or heard anything that made her not want to go back to a location?
Actually, no. Washoe Club, I still go.
Mm-hmm. After everything has happened, right?
Yeah, after everything has happened. I mean, the spirits know me there. It's like a second home. It used to be. I used to go all the time. I mean, I must have investigated that place over 20 some odd times.
Wow.
But no, I'll go back because that's what I do.
Negative stuff aside,
I mean,
at the Washoe Club, you feel like you've built a pretty good relationship with the other spirits that are there?
absolutely, yes. They call me by name constantly
Nice.
when I'm there. So
That
that's
is
fantastic.
just insane. That is insane. Now you've been there a lot, and you've done a lot, but where do you want to go?
the one place that I really, 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 really want to go is on my bucket list. Number one is the Japanese suicide forest.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
In Japan.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
they say you can get lost in there.
Oh, yeah.
You have to like make a trail, like a rope, and follow that rope. You'll be lost. I've always wanted to do that, but the second one on my list is to travel to Scotland, to investigate the vaults and go to Aberdeen, Scotland, where my witch lineage is. I have witches from my family, early 1500s from Aberdeen, Scotland, and they were drowned and they were burned. And I would like to come in contact with some ancestors. So
it seems like we all have Scottish roots somewhere.
Yeah.
I've been to the vaults.
I want to go.
I've been to Mary King's Close. It's tough. It's tough. You've been where my witches were.
Yeah.
The Salem witch trials.
Oh yeah, amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Scotland is fantastic.
Sean Gilmore in the chat is wondering, Michelle, do you ever go out east?
I have.
I mean, you've talked about Salem, so obviously that's
yeah.
east. But...
I am deathly scared of flying, but
Yeah.
I have braved it, and I got to go to Kentucky for a week with an amazing group of people. We investigated so many amazing places. We went to Waverly Hills, Bobby Mackey's Music World, Tom Sawyer EP Park, where they have it used to be an old insane asylum that they tore down, and we went underneath. It's been overgrown by trees and forests, and they have the foundation still there, and you can go under the ground. Oh, it's crazy. We heard some crazy stuff in there.
Nice.
Salem. I've been to Salem. That was amazing. I actually did an investigation with Scott there. We were doing a session, and it was an EVR session. And what it does is we speak in it, and it repeats, and the spirit manipulates our words and makes words. It's an amazing tool that Scott uses. But we were getting so many things, and he goes, come with me. And I said, okay. So we walked away from the memorial, the witches' memorial, where we were doing our session, and we actually got through the EVR. Giles Corey is one of the guys that was. His stone is right there,
okay.
And they said his name.
Wow.
So we walked away, and he goes, "Hi, I'm Scott, and this is Michelle."
Right.
Introducing
yourselves.
Yeah, introduce ourselves. And we weren't near the equipment. We were away. And he goes, "Okay, come on, let's go." So he brings me back over there, and he goes, "Hi." He goes, "Who did I just introduce you to?" And a man's voice came out loud and said, "Michelle," immediately. Nice. And we're just like, yeah, that was so cool. But yeah, Salem is another place that the energy there is amazing. People are just so wonderful. There's a lot of I didn't feel any negativity in that town at all. I did in other towns.
Mhm.
I mean, there's some rude people back there, but
Well, I lived in Massachusetts for 10
oh my
years.
God.
There is a bit of a some people there do have a bit of an air about themselves. So there's a
yeah.
kind of Eastern
You can-
mentality, but
I stood at a
But I can
crosswalk.
say that because I lived there for 10 years. So yeah,
I stood.
Red
at a
Sox fans
freaking
are just as bad as
crosswalk.
Yankee fans. So I'll say that.
No, but I stood at a crosswalk for like 10 minutes waiting for cars to stop so I could cross.
Yeah.
And no one stopped. And
No.
I'm standing there. And then I got really upset. And then I started being like them. And I'm like, fuck off. You know? So, but yeah, I was so frustrated. So.
Yeah,
But
driving
I was
around
like,
there is crazy. But B3
Yeah.
Airspace was wondering if you've ever been anywhere in Kansas.
Nope.
Yeah,
I
like-
would like to.
Like Shay says, massholes. There you go. Yeah, massholes.
Yeah, massholes. Massholes. Yeah.
I lived in Kansas for over 20 years. You're good.
Oh, really?
But there is a lot there as well. There's a
There's
lot
stuff in Kansas,
that
yeah.
goes on in Kansas. Dodge City is really interesting.
Oh.
And there's actually another place when you are on your way to a little town called Neodesha, Kansas.
Mhm.
There is a house that is there that many moons ago, a woman and her husband would bring in travelers. It was not like a bed and breakfast, but it was like you can come and stay the night or whatever, and she would feed you. And what people didn't know is she was feeding them people who had stayed before, because there was a curtain behind where she would have the guests sit. That's how they got their meat. They would keep the guests, and they would cut them up and cook them and eat them.
Yummy.
Stories, pretty damn nasty.
God.
Yeah, come on over for the barbecue. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, we are just about up to our hour mark. Can you believe that?
Wow.
You survived, Michelle. You've made it this far.
Woo! I think I've done a 2-hour one before. It went quick.
Yeah, it
Really?
flies. Once you start getting into it, it just flies by. So, especially at our show, it just
Oh yeah.
seems like we just started asking questions.
I know, it does.
So people in the chat are saying, "Boo, no, hey." After this show is Inside the Upside Down, so you do have another hour. It's just a different show and different format. So stay
Exactly.
tuned.
Now, Michelle, what do you have coming up?
Yeah. What do you got?
In April, I'm going to be investigating the Blair House for 2 nights.
Enjoy.
Yes, I get to stay there for 2 nights, sleep there, which I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
And it's going to be an event. It's called the Women of the Paranormal. It's Reap Investigations are the ones that are putting on the event. I love them.
Love them. They were wonderful.
So I'm going to be going there a couple days early. I'm going to go wander around and go search for some haunted locations. I mean, I just can't get enough of this stuff, but
Right.
I'm going to do that. And then in June, I'll be doing the Eureka Paracon in Eureka, Nevada. I'll be alongside my good buddy Scott. And we're going to be doing that for a 3-day event. And then pretty much, I think I'm free. I might be doing Gettysburg in November, I think.
Okay.
And I just do a lot of lives. So
Okay. How can people find you?
they just go on Facebook and look up Michelle LeBaron, Lebaron. And I think / or / paranormal investigator. And they can go onto my paranormal page, and they can even go onto my regular page. It's public. I have nothing to hide.
Same, girl. Same. And I highly recommend to those who are watching you tonight on the show to check your page out. Your live feeds that you do are really spontaneous. the investigations that you do. They're really spontaneous. They're down to earth. You love it when people contribute. And that's how we learn in this field, is by interacting with each other.
Yes.
Giving those readings on the live feeds and giving our opinions and mulling things over. And that's what we're looking for here on Edge of the Rabbit Hole, is to get people to do that.
Yeah,
Well,
I like doing the interactive thing, have people join in.
Yes.
I think I don't want it to be the me show.
Exactly.
Right.
You love when people interact, and that is appreciated.
Well, that's something we like about the shows. We keep going. I mean, it's the three of us are just back, forth, and we include everybody in the chat. So fantastic. In fact, Tom McNicholas is saying we should have had the show during the blue moon. So it's a super blue blood moon. I mean, it's like all kinds of crazy stuff because it's a blue moon, it's a super moon, it's a lunar eclipse. You got all this stuff going on tomorrow. That's just like the apocalypse is happening tomorrow. So
I have one more thing.
Go ahead.
One more thing. I'm actually in April, before I go to Ohio, they just opened the Goldfield Hotel, and I'm going to the Goldfield to investigate. We're going to be there for the weekend, and we're going to investigate the Goldfield Hotel, and I'm going to be with some amazing friends. It's going to be great.
Very cool.
I just had to put that out there. I'm excited about that.
Fantastic. All right, Goldfield Hotel. Yeah, that's a popping place. Absolutely. All right, well, let's go ahead and do some shout outs before we wrap up the show. And remember, stick around after the show, because we do have Inside the Upside Down coming up after that, in which we're going to be talking about Dear David and whether or not that is a hoax. So it's a hoax, but
you gotta let me first.
She hadn't finished exhaling. So all right, let's get into it. So of course, Shana, our chat Shananigator, thank you as always for shenanigating our chat. Donna Gorton, one of our Cheshire cats, has been down there as well. So let's get into everybody else. So Fungi, great to see you again. Tammy Heitzman, looking forward to seeing you in June. Sean Gilmore, great to see you out here. Danielle Heil, I'm hoping I said it was Heal or Heil. I hope I'm saying it right. B3 Airspace, one of our fantastic Patreon supporters, as well as Tom McNicholas, who's also down there in Periscope. So appreciate that down in Periscope as well. So I don't know if Linz White is down there at all too, but if she is, hey Linz. Lee Earl, thanks for joining us again tonight. Appreciate that. Joe Chandler, as always, thank you very much. Andrew Cox, Andrew number one, thank you. Ether Shadow is in the house, as is Dawn Spooky Spectacular. Diane Hilbert, thank you for joining us again. Katie Palmer, thank you. Amanda Tyrell, thanks for joining us tonight. Zippy Davis, always like one of the first ones here. Mark Fiore, thanks for joining us tonight. Jen, thank you. Pamela Rainey, thanks for the question. Bethany Warner, thank you as always. Shay Carroll, thanks again. Chipper Terry, Julia Syracusa. Who else do we have? Real Paranormal Activity, the podcast. Go check out their show too. Good stuff. Wendy Jessica Joe Sarton, thank you for joining us. Oklahoma in the house. Spirits to Spirit, Scott too, thank you for joining us tonight. River, thank you as well. A lot of people in the house. New? Tina the Best. Yeah, a lot of new people. Hey, if you're new, hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the little notification button, and you'll get notified of this stuff. We do this every week, every Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Edge of the Rabbit Hole. We follow that up with Inside the Upside Down directly after I switch out a few things and all that. And then, of course, we have Friday Night Ghost Frights on Friday nights, and we have an investigation video of some sort either over the weekend or Monday nights, depending on how soon it is till I get it out. So we usually got 3, 4, 5 things going on every week. Robert White, Soylent Green. Yeah, Soylent Green is people. I have no idea where that came up in the conversation, but I saw it. Who else do we got going on in here? Carrie Parrish. Can't forget Carrie Parrish. And Cheryl Midkiff, our winner of the 5,000 subscriber t-shirt contest. Bree Jones, thank you. A lot of great input on our last live investigation this past weekend. So I'm going to scroll all the way back down now. If there's anybody else, Bear Cave Zoo, thank you for joining us during the live here. And I think that's going to be about it. If I missed anybody, again, it's nothing personal. It's just there's a lot of y'all in the chat.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot in there. And
Wow.
we got chastised one time for not getting somebody. So again,
Ren
like
Oak,
Mike said,
apologize. Can't forget Ren Oak. And I know I got Tom and Nicholas earlier, but I just want to throw them out there because Tom was our super chat superstar for tonight. So do appreciate that. Twice. All right, everybody. Michelle, thank you for joining us. Really had a great time talking with you. So looking forward to hearing more from you.
Thank you for having me tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
And thank you, everyone who's joined to watch my craziness.
Yeah.
And it's a monster.
It is. But I love you, Vanessa.
Right.
We'll talk to you later, everybody.
You guys all have a great night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.